If the GOP does not consolidate its message, it will not capitalize on Mr. Obama's troubles. It's simple as that. And that's a memo. Now, for the top story tonight, reaction. With us, the former governor of Alaska and vice presidential candidate Sarah Palin. There's a new book out called Good Tidings and Great Joy, Protecting the Heart of Christmas. So, Governor, we'll get to the book in the second segment. I'm going to give you 2 segments tonight. Am I going wrong here on the Republican Party?
No, you're absolutely spot on. And that united message from Republicans, independents, libertarians, those who do want to capitalize on those faults of Obama and his supporters, Hillary Clinton being one, that united message needs to be: big government politicians, quit stealing our money. Big government is not entitled to the fruits of your labor. If we are united around that message, then it's win-win.
Okay, and I agree with that. You have to basically bring it down and dumb it down so even I can understand it, all right? But you yourself have been kind of divisive in the Republican Party. I mean, I've used sound bites on The Factor where you call certain politicians rhinos, Republican in name only.
Because there are some Republicans who do stray and do think that they are entitled to the fruits of an individual's labor, and I will call them out.
Okay, so, and that's fine. I mean, that's part of your charm. Governor, you're feisty, and you tell it like it is. And so, but if that continues, so this poll was interesting because Christie, big moderate, there's no doubt about it. And Cruz, I thought Cruz did well at 12% because he's a brand new senator, came on a scene, total Obamacare play, got him into the public eye, he's got 12%. I mean, he's running pretty strong on that. Now, can he build on it? I don't know. But when you and other people, like we just heard in the show Open, Ted Cruz, say, I don't trust the Republican Party, this is going to be exploited. You know that.
Well, anything that a conservative is going to say will be exploited by the media, by the big government supporters. So that's just a given. But I agree with you, though, that there does need to be that united mission, that united message. And if we continue to allow
snipe at each other. You can't keep sniping at each other.
You know, though, the beauty of the Republican Party is we are so much believers of competition that we will call each other out in order to make another politician.
But I don't know if you're going to win the Senate back next year doing it. What about the Tea Party now? Are you a Tea Party person? Do you find yourself that way?
I am proud to be affiliated with the Tea Party grassroots movement. It is not a party. It is a movement,
right.
and I'm
so
proud
you're a
to be
Tea Party
person.
For those who don't really understand, what is the primary thing the Tea Party stands for?
The acronym itself, T. Taxed enough already. That's how it started. That's its foundation.
Okay, that's the message.
Big government,
lower
live
taxes
within your means, just like we do as businessmen and women, and as family members, we live within our means.
And I mean, I'm for that. So maybe I'm a Tea Party guy.
It's not radical.
I mean,
the media wants to make it a radical movement.
They hate the Tea Party because
it's not a radical movement. Right. Since when has it been radical to tell our government, hey, you work for us, we don't work for you?
But once again, it came back to, I think the Tea Party message is a good one. I certainly want smaller government, lower taxes. I think that'll stimulate the economy and everybody can participate then. However, when the Tea Party doesn't compromise and wants to blow things up, then again, the message gets lost in the strum of controversy.
Like what? What's an example?
Well, the example is everybody knew, and I said this on The Factor very early on, that you weren't going to defund Obamacare. It wasn't going to happen.
Even though the candidates who had run for office all promised that they would do whatever it took to
repeal, these are weasels. These are weasels.
I'll agree with you on that.
All right. But you weren't going to get it done because the power is in the hand of the president. We're going to defund. Period. So it was a waste of time, kind of, but not really, because Ted Cruz then came on the scene, so it worked to his benefit. I got to get to Beshear. Now, this MSNBC outfit, I mean, they're pretty rough, these guys. And they attack you, Laura Ingraham, who we're going to have on later. They attack her in a very personal and vile way. Putting that aside, do you understand what the reason is, what they're trying to accomplish there?
They want to discredit, obviously, and marginalize.
Well, why don't they just do that on policy, though?
I wish that they would on policy.
Why do they have to go after you personally?
I know, and Laura Ingraham and others. I wish that they would take us on policy. But no, I think it's an immature and kind of petty way of trying to destroy someone. That certainly is the Saul Alinsky politics of personal destruction antic that they certainly participate in. But it's not an intelligent way of trying to debate and.
Did Beshear get what he deserved? Would you have fired him had you been in charge of NBC?
I would never have allowed a corporate culture to have such low standards that kind of vile talk was accepted.
That's a good answer. So if you were in charge, that never would have happened because you would have put out a dictum. You guys don't. Because just today, another one, and we'll do this with Miss Laura, attacks Rush Limbaugh in a very horrific personal way. And I mean, they don't seem to learn over there, but that's really all they have. I don't think they have anything else but personal attacks. That's it.
Right. Well, the public doesn't stand for it, I want to believe. And in this case with Bashir, thankfully, refreshingly, people in the media were also saying enough is enough of that kind of rhetoric.
Are you happy he's gone?
I never watched him before. I think what he gained in this was the attention that he was seeking, and I don't worry about him getting another job. He'll get another job because he got a lot of attention.
Well, I don't think it'll be at Fox, though. I don't think he's going they do it on the right too, on talk radio, and there's some vicious personal attacks lodged by right wingers as well. Do you condemn those as well?
Certainly, they're just as. There's no need to dip so low as to personally try to destroy someone based on anything except policy. If their policy is hurting the American public, when we're talking
go after them policy-wise.
Go after them. Right. But no, I think that our standards can be a bit higher than what we've seen.
On both sides, right?
Certainly, on all sides.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're going to hold the governor over and talk about her new book in a moment. And later, as I mentioned, Laura Ingraham will comment on the MSNBC situation. Also, I had to add, continuing now with Governor Sarah Palin, her new book, Good Tidings and Great Joy, pretty much takes up my theme that Christmas has to be defended these days in America. So when did you first notice a change?
Oh, well, I noticed a change back when I was the mayor of our city, and I sanctioned and promoted and participated in our nativity scene that I would allow.
That was Wasilla, Alaska. What year was that?
Yeah. That was in the early 2000s was when I first started hearing from people saying, you're not going to be able to keep this up, Madam Mayor. Somebody's going to sue you for allowing God to be recognized in public square.
So early 2000s, it started to come in.
In my life, yes.
Right. And no, that's me too.
Okay.
Me too. Pretty much 10 years ago. And then it reached its apex when some major corporations ordered their employees not to say Merry Christmas. Do you remember that? And I think you have some examples in your book about that.
I do, yeah.
And then we said to people, hey, maybe you don't want to shop at these places. And then all of a sudden, magically, like Santa, they changed.
Well, what I recognize in the book, too, though, are those businesses that are bold enough to not allow that double standard to be applied, and their employees can say what they want to say, and they can freely express their acknowledgement of Jesus being the reason for the season at Christmas time. And I give shout-outs and kudos to those businesses because customers will stick with them then.
And most of them are doing that now. You don't have any beef about Happy Holidays, do you?
Absolutely not. Nor Santa Claus
I don't have
and anything else. No, it's all wonderful.
This woman in the New York Times today, I forget her name, but she writes a column there. She's mocking you and mocking me, saying, "Oh, they don't like Happy Holidays." I don't care about Happy Holidays. Somebody says Happy Holidays to me, I said, "Okay, give me a present." That's mine. I don't care if they're holidays. Where's my present? But when you start to say you can't say Merry Christmas, and you can't have the creche, and you can't have Christmas carols by choirs, school choirs. It's part of our culture.
Well, and that's the double standard that's applied, and that's what I'm not going to sit down and accept, and I don't think the majority of Americans will, because that war on Christmas is the tip of the spear that really translates into a war on religious freedom, and that's a much bigger problem that we will be facing if we just were to sit back and allow the angry atheists who are armed with an attorney to tell us that we cannot say things like Merry Christmas.
After you get off the air here, you might go over to Times Square. There's a big atheist sign now, and it's very offensive. It says, "You don't need God in Christmas." Okay, and it's huge. It's huge. I mean, there's money behind these people. Now, do I object to that sign? Not really. I don't object to it, but it's mean-spirited. It goes back to MSNBC. It goes back. It's just mean-spirited.
And yet you are going to be called thin-skinned and intolerant if you claim taking offense at seeing something like that, and yet they can sue for claiming an offense taken because we do recognize Jesus being the reason.
Now, let me stop you now. Because I spray painted over that sign, I'm going to be called intolerant? No, I isn't like that. Now, in your book, you have recipes.
Yes.
Recipes.
Yes. Well, we have, traditional Alaskana meals that are organic, and our meals happen to be wrapped in fur, not cellophane.
Yeah.
And I explain explain how it is that we prepare our moose chili and
Moose
our
chili.
halibut dip and all that?
I got to get some of that. I was in Alaska this summer. I don't know whether you know that or not. I was in Glacier Bay.
Yes.
Unbelievably beautiful.
Beautiful.
And we ran around and we caused trouble and everything. And you know, it was my reception was mixed. I mean, some of the people really liked me, but some of the people, you know, they're kind of like, you know, what are you doing here? Don't ever come again. But I should have stocked up on moose chili, and nobody guided me into that.
I'll bring you some next time.
You
I
have
come
to,
the
because there's
big
not a lot of
city.
moose on Long Island where I live. So, you know, we can't really slay them and chop them up into chili.
I don't think you can shoot anything. I mean, isn't the mayor around here trying
you can't
to
shoot.
ban everything?
Well, the bad guys can shoot people.
Yeah, the bad guys
The
will
good
have the
people
arms,
can't.
the good guys,
See, that's the law in New York.
Yeah.
If you're bad, yeah, go, you can shoot. But if you're good, you can't. But in Alaska, everybody is armed and ready.
Well, we're independent,
That's
and
right.
we want to protect ourselves, and we do want to fill
Right.
our freezer with organic meat.
Now, I'm holding you to the moose chili business.
All right.
All right, so next time in, I'm
Absolutely.
going to show everybody that can. All right, Sarah Palin, everybody, thanks for coming in. Directly ahead as the Factor continues, Miss Megyn Kelly.